To sum this up, they also found in the sonar, like apparently the Mariana, how do you say it? The Mariana Trench is where a lot of these creatures reside, and they seem to get all this information where it looks like their structures or their dwelling units have been mapped, and they're all like perfectly hexagonal, and they're joined together like a honeycomb. But whatever, they're living at depths that we can't live at. Whatever they're doing, they've mastered a way. Either they evolved down there, or they have technology to stop the pressure from killing them. But the Navy has confiscated most of this evidence, and he goes on to say other nations are aware of this, of course, which we talked about earlier. Like all the nations together know what's going on. Now, what makes this really interesting, other than just a story off Reddit, which has a little authenticity to it because it was taken down, put back up, and connects to other stories I've heard in the space, is that recently, in the last, since this 180 days started, the president signed, the White House and the president signed this new law. The law was Law S-2981, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Commissioned Officer Course Amendment. That's a lot of words. I'm going to read to you what it means. It's kind of interesting. It's one paragraph. Now, I would like you guys to just try to interpret what this means, if it's connected in any way. Because this story also hit the internet recently. This Reddit story I told you was in the last month. So today, this is from Trump. It's one of the last things he did in office. Today, I have signed into law S-2981, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Commissioned Officer Corps Amendments Act of 2020. God, can they just work on their fucking titles for, like, bills? Give me a fucking break. Jesus, Congress, get it together. Okay. Which will provide helpful changes to the governments of the NOAA Commissioned Officer Corps. I note that Section 207 of the Act purports to authorize NOAA officers to communicate directly with Congress, free from supervision within the executive branch, and free from consequence in the event they make unauthorized disclosures, such as classified or confidential information related to an ongoing investigation. Consistent with the understanding long expressed by presidents in signing similar legislation to the law, provisions of this nature cannot detract from my constitutional authority to supervise, control, and correct NOAA officers' communication with Congress related to official duties, blah, blah, blah. So the big line in there really is they are now free of consequence of making unauthorized disclosures to Congress. I mean, you could read that as just like they're working on an investigation for whatever, an oil spill or whatnot, but the timing of this dropping right in the middle of the 180-day window after these stories are hitting Reddit with what we know about the water is just interesting. Could it be nothing?
That
yes. Is it fun to speculate?
Really interesting, actually.
Yes. So that's kind of the end of my underwater take. I just want to say that's what we're going to learn. I think my big bet is we're going to learn that they're eventually not. I don't think we're going to learn in 60 days or 180 days the whole truth, but I think eventually it's going to lead to they're here. There's probably some things underwater. They come in and out of dimensions, and that's just the reality we live with. So good luck with that. Good luck swimming ever again in the ocean. Yeah. And not feeling creeped out. You thought Jaws scared you out of the water. Fucking aliens.
Yeah. I was going to go for a surf this weekend, but now I'm like, you know what? I don't want to fuck with these things. That's
with big creepy smiles.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's what I got, guys. Oh, wait, before you go on, I just want to say, before you wrap it up, Melissa, I just want to say a couple other things that are interesting. There's new raw interviews of the kids from the Zimbabwe case, the Ariel school case that's in the movie The Phenomenon, that hit the internet. These raw interviews, I'll post a link this week for you guys. They're really cool. Listen to these kids because just really talk and long about it. I mean, they're not lying, and too many of them. It's really incredible footage. Also, something to look into was that blue UFO that was over Hawaii over the last couple of months. That was a big deal and seemed interesting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I haven't deep dived on that.
Of course, in the first 20 days of 180 days, that happened in Hawaii. Yep.
Yeah, like, is it all connected? I don't know. I just feel like their presence there is being made known. It feels like they're showing up more and more and more, and we're heading towards something. Is it going to be this summer? Are we going to learn anything new this summer? I think we're going to learn something, guys. I just don't think we're going to learn the whole truth yet, but buckle up. The next 4 years could be cray.
It does kind of feel like things are ramping up, but only if you're looking at it. Like, if you were to ask the average Joe on the street about the Hawaii UFO, for an example, they would be like, what?
Or the
what?
CIA documents. They'd be like, oh, yeah, I heard about that, but it's not a big deal. Like, because here's the thing. People are living in fear constantly right now. The economy is what it is. There's COVID. There's all these issues. And so nobody is looking, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
So it's like how they're doing it correctly, right? again, I go back to my producer mind. They're doing it correctly. There's just a lot going on. So we're going to take you through the storyline. And you can believe it if you want, but, you signed up to watch the show. Meaning,
right.
Meaning you're in your mind, you're thinking about what's happening in your immediate universe. You're not really thinking about it because you just can't. There's too much going on right now. If there was nothing going on in the in the world right now,
you would be
like, holy cow.
Maybe they waited until this moment to sneak it in, because what are they doing? They're seeding our subconscious to get ready for it. That's how you would. I've heard psychologists talk about that before. That's if you're going to prepare a population, you got to slowly bring it up to them and put it in their subconscious and bring them along. And we know from the surveys in the public that people are ready for it. The more people believe in it, they think something's going on, and we'll get to that threshold where the government will no longer panic that there will be panic, because that was a big study that came out in the 70s. Like, people would lose their minds. But I feel like they're pushing us towards that point where people won't panic. That is my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I feel like a kid on Christmas Eve, and I just want people to hurry the fuck up and get okay with this, so we can so we can make this happen.
And then bring me Dogman.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Dogman's next. You know it is.
Yeah, but we need a season 2, guys. After June, there's a season 2, so it's not going to be that big. That's what that's my prediction.
It'll be a cliffhanger.
We'll revisit in June, and then I'll be like, I'm right. I'm the only girl on this podcast.
No, I agree with that. I agree. They'll give us a little and they'll cliffhanger.
Yeah, that's right. Matt's like, fuck it. All right, you guys, we're wrapping this up. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. We do love talking about aliens, and we really do want to see what's happening. So get your cameras out, document anything, send it to us. Otherwise, we will talk to you next week.
Goodbye.